Richard got sad, and then more sad and more sad, and then we left to go to our hotel across the street. Wilder did something on camera in 1976 that still makes people uncomfortable. Today, his co-star begged the director to change it. The studio executives worried about backlash, but Wilder went ahead anyway. Years later, he admitted it was his biggest mistake. The scene aired on national television and changed how America saw him. Even his closest friends said he crossed a line that day. What started as comedy became controversy, and that moment haunted him until his final days. Gene was born on June 11, 1933 in Milwaukee. His father, William Sperman, was a Russian Jewish immigrant who ran a novelty business. His mother was the child of Russian Jewish immigrants. Their house mixed old traditions with the hope of new Americans. But sickness was always there, hanging over the family like a dark cloud. His mother's illness filled his childhood with worry. When Gene Wilder was just 8 years old, everything changed in a way no child should ever have to face. It was 1941. His mother, John, had a heart attack caused by rheumatic fever. The doctor told little Jerome Silverman, that was Gene's birth name, that if he ever upset his mother, she might die. The doctor's exact words were, "Don't ever argue with your mother. You might kill her. Try to make her laugh." From that day, making his mother laugh wasn't just fun. It became a daily mission to keep her alive. His mother would sometimes laugh so hard she wet herself and joke, "Oh, Jerry, now look what you've made me do." But behind every joke was fear. Fear that if he failed, something terrible would happen. This heavy burden shaped everything about him. It taught him to hide pain behind humor. When he was 11, Gene's world opened up because of his sister Karen. He watched her on stage and was hooked. He begged her acting teacher to let him join. The teacher told him to wait until he turned 13. That promise kept him focused for 2 years. He dreamed of the stage and of following in Corin's footsteps. When he finally turned 13, he didn't waste a moment. The very next day, June 12, 1946, he called the teacher and joined the class. He trained for 2 years, learning his craft, while most kids his age were still figuring out what they wanted. By high school, he already had solid stage experience. His sister's influence and his own drive put him on the path that would define his life. But that path soon led into darkness. In the late 1940s, his mother sent him to Black Fox Military Institute in Hollywood. She thought being close to the heart of show business would help him. The school was meant for the sons of the rich and famous. But instead of opportunity, Gone found cruelty. The place was known for strict discipline, and many students came from privileged, ruthless families. Worse, Gene was the only Jewish boy there. Every day he faced bullying. He was called names, beaten, and made to feel like an outsider. No one stood up for him. The school staff looked the other way. The scars from that time ran deep, and they showed later in the darker sides of his characters. What Gene kept hidden for decades was even more horrifying. In his 2006 autobiography, he revealed that his own roommate had sexually assaulted him. At Black Fox, the pain and shame of that time stayed locked inside him for nearly 60 years. His letters home told part of the story. He wrote to his father begging for help, but his father, scared that telling his sick mother would make her worse, kept silent. Gene's words went unheard, and he felt abandoned. The abuse, the bullying, the silence, it all piled on, making him feel utterly alone. The turning point came when he visited home, his body covered in bruises. That sight finally made his parents act. They took him out of Black Fox immediately. Back in Wisconsin, Gone found a kind of peace in local theater. At 15, he stepped on stage for the first time. From that moment, acting became his escape, his passion, and his purpose. But the pain of Black Fox never fully left him. Gene Wilder's road to stardom began with strength and determination at a young age. When he enrolled at the University of Iowa in 1951, he carried the heavy weight of a troubled childhood. His mother was sick with rheumatic heart disease, and Wilder grew up feeling constant anxiety and guilt. Yet despite these struggles, he shone as a student. He chose to major in communication and theater arts, setting the stage for his future in acting. He also joined the Alpha Epsilon Pi fraternity, which gave him comfort and a sense of belonging. During those difficult years, from 1951 to 1955, Wilder worked hard, often performing in student productions and polishing his acting skills. He graduated in 1955, proving that his passion for theater was stronger than any hardship life had thrown at him. Right after finishing at Iowa, Wilder didn't hesitate. In 1955, he moved to England and joined the famous Bristol Old Vic Theatre School. What happened next was incredible. Within 6 months, he became the first freshman to win the all-school fencing championship. This wasn't an easy win. The competition was tough, and fencing was a serious part of the school's classical theater training. Wilder dedicated himself completely, practicing for hours each day. His victory showed not just skill, but a level of focus and drive that would later define his acting career. His win also helped him earn respect from his classmates, many of whom doubted the American newcomer. This early success hinted at the dedication Wilder would bring to every role he played. In 1956, Gene Wilder's life took another unexpected turn when he was drafted during the Cold War. But instead of going to the front lines, he was sent to Valley Forge Army Hospital in Pennsylvania. There he worked as a paramedic in the psychiatric ward. His job was to assist in electroconvulsive therapy or electroshock treatment for patients with severe mental illness. The experience was shocking and painful. He had to strap patients down and operate the machines himself. Wilder later said, "This haunted him. He saw the suffering of these patients up close, and it opened his eyes to the harsh realities of mental illness and how poorly it was often treated. The weight of what he witnessed stayed with him and influenced his work and outlook on life." Around this same period between 1955 and 1957, Wilder battled something even more personal. He was tormented by obsessive, compulsive rituals he called the demon. He would fall to his knees in public, on buses, in parks, even on crowded sidewalks, and pray for hours. He kept whispering, "Forgive me, Lord, for what? I don't know." These episodes were not about faith. They came from deep anxiety and guilt that he couldn't shake. The rituals left him drained and isolated. He missed classes and avoided friends, lost in his inner struggle.